Hello, my name is Hepenwana, and this here is a submission video for a speedrun of Genesis Noir. We are going to be doing any percent. Any percent means we are just going to be playing through the game as quick as we can, whatever way we could do it. You all know what any percent is. This game, give fair warning, there are 2 possible trigger warnings you might want to know of. There is 1 instance of animal violence. A hunter does throw a spear into a deer. It is shown in very simplistic graphics. There is no blood, but it is something to be mindful of. And also, especially in the back half of this game, there are going to be some photosensitivity concerns because the game will have some bright, shimmering, occasionally flashing lights. It does come up in the back half, but it also does come up in various spots throughout the whole run. So please be mindful of that because I want everyone to enjoy this run. So to start the game, we delete our saved data. Best way of starting a game is starting truly from beginning. We're going to use controller. We're going to use mouse. We're going to use a little of everything. We're just going to have fun. This game is very jazz-like. It is very free-flowing, very jamming, very beat poetry, very just, it's something. You'll see what it is as we go. So time begins in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So this game has a lot of story. There is a lot of lore. Not all of it makes sense. Sometimes reality is too complex for visual perception, but imagination embodies the dark unknown in myth. That pretty much sums up this game more than anything. This game has a lot of things going on, but there are a few main concepts. One of the concepts is this is a creative reimagining telling of the Big Bang, the start of the universe, the start of everything, the birth of Earth, creation of life, the evolution of different everything. This game goes places, and honestly, I cannot make heads or tail of a lot of the story, but it has style, and even if you don't know what the heckaroonie is going on, the style is amazing. Like right here, these are really simple visuals, but really awesome. This is our main character, our protagonist, No Man. No Man is your name, and you are hungry. You want to go the Hopper. The Hopper, I love the design of the Hopper there. That is where we will end this game. We start here, but it's going to take a while to get there. So we are a watch seller, and in order to get some money, go to the Hopper. Well, we're going to sell us some watches. And we are also going to battle our controls. One of the biggest challenges in this game is controls. The controls are very intentional, which can make it a little bit tricky when you are speedrunning. Because part of speedrunning is you kind of want to go very fast, and this game wants you to not necessarily go slow, but it wants you to go on a rhythm. So we'll sell one more watch, rule of threes, except for, we're not going to get paid for this one. Well, we will get paid, but not quite what we want. Now we're going to move over a controller, because anytime you are just running to a direction, controller is how to do it. I love the visuals on this game. Just really beautiful overall. Very simple, but very elegant, very glorious to behold. And so, coming up next, we're going to see our second main character, Miss Mass. That is Miss Mass up in the window. You are a fan of hers. You are in a love triangle between her and the golden god, the golden man, the golden boy. I'm not sure, he's the golden something. They don't use his name, and it only comes up in the description of the game from the people who created it. So, you know, you do what, you name things how you name them. But there is a love triangle. Miss Mass is a lounge singer. Everyone's like, you know, she is the femme fatale. And so, you being the clock seller, you happen to have the cheapest apartment in town, which is at the top of a clock tower. We're going to go home into our clock tower, and then coming up right here. We just need to do a few things, get going in a hurry. So right now, what we need to do is we're just going to set the time. This phone's going to fall down. We're going to place a phone call. Luckily, we know the phone number we need. It happens to be, hopefully this is not anyone's real phone number. I'm used to fake ones always starting 555. This one, not quite 555. I don't think it's a real one. It is 9 8 0. Grab it. 6 6 5 and O. A lot of O's and a lot of 9 and 8. A lot of the numbers you don't want in a speedrun, because those are the slowest ones. If you don't know these, that's a rotary dial phone. I grew up knowing them. I'm an old, what can I say? Nowadays, people barely even know touch tone, but that is a rotary dial phone. And now we get an awesome title card where we could kind of enjoy how stylistic this game is. And hopefully you have a nice beverage with you. I know I'm going to need it because long game, so a lot of talking. Want to make sure my voice stays good and fresh. And nothing really says going through kind of a stylistic, jazz-filled world, like having a mug of coffee. I mean, just seems right, especially when all of this started with us wanting to get to the Hopper, which is a diner. Hopper will come up a couple times, and here we want to open this door to Miss Mass's apartment, and there we go. Open that door, and oh, we wandered in. The love triangle is leading to the genesis of everything. So, if you're wondering, what is this game really about? Well, this love triangle has led to a jealous murder attempt, or murder, depending on how you want to see it. You'll see what I mean as we go along. That is the golden god, the golden man, the golden boy. He is in love with Miss Mass. So is No Man in love with Miss Mass. He shoots her. The gun went bang. You might say the gun went big bang, because that created the Big Bang. You three are actually deities or celestial beings, or however you want to put it. You are something cosmic above everything. You will interact with humans and Earth, but you are something far beyond them. And so right here we're going to have a little moment of seeing through time. Time is not a solid thing in this world. And we will start by looking at our flask, and we will drink from it because, oh boy, are we off to a rough start. But anytime we have a drink, we are essentially always going to create little bubbles, and we want to get rid of those bubbles, so swing the mouse over it, and there goes those bubbles. And now, this is the apartment where the Big Bang happens, and this is kind of the hub world of the game. And now we have a mission. Our mission is we want to stop that Big Bang. And in order to stop it, well, we're going to have to come up with a plan. We're not ready for that plan yet, but we're getting an idea. We touch the shell casing of the bullet that started the Big Bang. We see this swirl. And this swirl, it is tied in to everything. So first part of the Big Bang, though, is the start of everything. Every time you start a new chapter or a new area, you are going to get one of these little text things. It's going to explain in kind of scientific and stylistic wording what is going on with the Big Bang and with your perspective on it. The very first part is all about seeding reality and seeding the Earth. We are more interested in the Earth with the Big Bang than the rest of the galaxy. Except for black holes. Black holes are going to be even more important than the Earth, or as important, or less important, depending on what part of the game we're in, because a lot of things happen, and as I said, this game, there is a lot of narrative and a lot of style, and honestly, I have no clue what's going on most of the time. Here, we are going to see throughout this game, for the most part, there are going to be 3 colors for most of the game. Black, white, and gold. And here, we are going to get some white seeds. What are white seeds? White seeds are used for planting white plants. So we will take one of these, throw it right there so we could get through here, and white plants will devour white things. And so, here we go. We will get rid of this white gate on this yellow fence, and we can't get through until it's done growing. This guy right here is going to have black seeds. And if you couldn't tell, a black seed is used to get rid of black objects. And we gotta wait for this grow because we can't squeeze through until it's done. And then, anytime we see these, we'll plant a real flower, a real plant, and this will create things. So, here we want to get this filled in as quick as we can. And then, let's just do the natural inclination of let's pull off all these petals. Like I said, the controls are very intentional, so we are moving at a certain speed. We can't go faster than it wants, and we definitely don't want to go slower than it wants, because that's just slower. And now we will use our controller. We will bounce between controller and mouse because certain things are quicker on other ones. And this is kind of creating light. Let there be light. And now that we have that, we're going to go and create another part of reality. We need water. We need some water to fill the oceans. You can't have life without water. So, to get water, we need to pop these rain clouds. There we go. That's enough of those rain clouds. Water is flowing. I have a little puppy nipping at me. It's always good to have an audience when you're speedrunning. That's half the fun. And then, let's go ahead and plant another seed. What will we get this time? And you'll notice I'm not going everywhere. There is a lot of space to go through. And we are not going to go... We're not going to go everywhere. We're just going to go exactly where we need to go. So this one, very simple little puzzle. And by filling it in, we have created plants. Earth is off to a really cool, good start. Okay, right here, we are going to plant another one. So this one right here, we need to advance time. Fun thing on this game is to advance time, you just click on the sky when it lets you and rotate your mouse in a circle. You could try doing that with your controller, but because it's very intentional, the speed you have to do things, you will actually go far slower. So anytime you need advanced time, and there are quite a few times we do this in the game, use the mouse. But meanwhile, when you're moving around, use the controller. Unfortunately, the seeds you need are not always going to be presented exactly how you want them. We just want to squeeze through there. We need to get down there, but if we throw a seed from up here, we'll teleport down there without having to work our way to there. So on this one, we're going to create animals. Ooh. There we go. And let there be animals. And you'll see we teleported down here, which is cool because that saved us the time of walking over to that area. And for some reason, that did not take. I guess we were about a pixel or two too far away. This one here, we need to get this plant's roots all the way down into water, and that's going to take a little bit of effort. So we need to move these things out of our way, but first, you know what they say, eyes on the prize. So that is the underground water we need to get to. And the very first one of these we pull out of the way is going to go very slow. It's going to show it fly off. Think of it like Zelda, where first time you get a power-up in Zelda or a collectible, it always goes super slow, showing you how exactly or what exactly it is here. See, we go nice and quick. Let's tap this open, get these out of the way. Get things out of the way as much as we can. And there we go. We have a root that can now go through to the underground river. All is good for this plant. And hence, all of animal life is truly born from that. Alright. And then we head on up here, and hey, another one of these people. I wonder if this means we're going to get another type of seed. Yes, we are. We want to move over here. Plant this one. And once again, we'll teleport to the spot we planted it, which will save us a little bit of time. Because it's all about how do we save time. And so this right here is going to let us go back to where we first started. And now that we have the yellow seeds, we can head up this way and get rid of this yellow gate. And like I always say, you have to wait for it to fully go away. And okay, there we go. Plant is fully planted. You have to wait for it. You cannot rush it, no matter how much you want to. Then this guy right here, we're just gonna bonk him on the head with an apple. And so this watch is going to be very vital to the story. I don't know what it means, though, because, like I said, this story, there is a lot of story going on, so I make no promises on what exactly the story is. I can just tell you there's a lot of it. However, right here, we're getting the idea of what to do about the Big Bang. The idea we're getting is a black hole. A black hole can get rid of a Big Bang. This also is going to introduce the theme of what each area we go to actually is. Each area is going to have some object we're going to collect, and then we're going to leave the area by tapping that symbol that was on the palm of our hand. And this is going to take us back to the Big Bang. So let's just float on back. Continue sipping our coffee, enjoying this very free-flowing type of game and experience. But now, time to have an idea. Look, No Man. It's like, so what can we do to save Miss Mass? And reason I know No Man's name is you actually get called No Man during this game. And Miss Mass, her name is right there on that poster. And we're going to see that poster a lot of times. But here we're doing, this is the whole It's Always Sunny bulletin board with the strings and the lines. And, you know, this is the big plan, the big conspiracy theory. This is how we are going to save Miss Mass and get rid of that Big Bang. Ultimately, we need a bunch of those little swirls that we see there, and we need to turn them gold. What does that mean overall? Who even knows? So, there's all these dots here. Some dots are really cool. Some dots are information. Cool ones, I mean, are levels, and the levels are where we need to go. The information ones, not so good. Because they just show you a picture, they show you a little bit of text, and then you're back to the essentially the Big Bang, which is the stage select area. So here we are in a new area, trying to figure out what we're doing, how we do it. And so this area is called Reflection. And these chapters are going to have their name typically spelled out for us. There's things we could click on. There's that big ring. We could click on that ring. Check it out. We're not doing that. That is not what we're here for. We're not here to slow things down. We're here to keep moving. There's also a big tie. We could click on that. We're not clicking on it. Like I said, it's not what we're doing. Instead, we're just going to keep on flowing along. And this is actually one of the longest and most puzzle-heavy chapters. In fact, I have cheat sheets with solutions on my left monitor, so if I'm ever looking this way, I am looking at my cheat sheet. We're going to throw some rocks, because the Golden Man, even though we are in a love triangle and he is our rival, at the same time, we are a huge fan of his, tell the truth. I think. Like I said, this story, it doesn't make total sense, but it is really cool. He's going to toss a flower. Don't click on the flower. We don't need to see it. Instead, let's applaud. He's playing his sax. That is some beautiful music he is making. Let's applause. And he's like, alright, I'll play a little more. This game has a lot of music to it, by the way. And none of it is copyright striked on YouTube or on Twitch. So good news. This is not a game that's going to cause copyright issues. Makes it really good for showing off as speedrun events, especially ones that are about indie games, esoteric games, games that are not played by main people, obscure titles, and games with a lot of story or a lot of art. And here we're going to clap 3 times, and that is the final, or 4 times. Why do I always forget that 4th one? The 4th one's real short, just a... Got a little quiet so we could listen to that music, because the music in this game, music and visually, so much style. The Golden Man, Definitely an artist at heart. Not the only amazing musician we will encounter throughout this game. I'm not talking about Miss Mass, who also is an amazing musician. She is, the singer who just draws in everyone's attention, everyone's love. So we're going to keep running to the right. And in this event, it's a little more detailed of showing the birth of life on Earth. This right here is the primordial soup. That is the beginning of the Earth. And we are going to create life. We need to connect the basic building blocks, create complex amino acids, and from there, we are going to create life. So, to begin, let's create some amino acids. And these, not too difficult, but tell the truth, one of these did confuse me a lot while playing casually. So big thing here is you want to connect a white to a yellow. Like I said, control's very intentional. So if you do a white to a yellow, it'll light things up. And then when you do a white to a black, you might get things more excitable, more awesome. This one is very tricky to hit, believe it or not. And there we go. This one, not too hard. The next one, honestly, had me very confused because you could look at this different ways. It did not want to let me connect. There we go. Like I said, game is very intentional in its buttons, which can be a little bit detrimental to speedrunning, but it still creates for a perfectly fine experience. And that is the last one of those, but we're not done creating life. So we created some complex amino acids. But we need to go a little deeper, create things more complex than that. We need life that is more than just amino acids free floating. We need create like DNA. Take those amino acids and create long chains of them. Long chains of nucleic acids, amino acids, proteins and nucleic acid chains, and all sorts of things. I don't know what this honestly is, but it's a lot of stuff. And so, we have this one. We'll do another one or so of these, and then we will start creating complex life forms. I bet you didn't see that coming when you started seeing this video for a game that is very jazzy and about noir, about crime, stopping a murder. I bet you didn't think, hey, we are going to create life. And we're going to create everything from, single cell life all the way up to complex multi-cell life. One more of these. This is the last one of these ones for this section. And now to create some more complex of life forms. And we are here to witness it all. No man gets to see everything throughout the development and lifespan and collapse of Earth. And of course, we're there to tag along. So right here, you have two simple little life forms, multicellular, and they fall in love. And when they fall in love, they have different genes that could be expressed, and it's up to us to pick what genes to express. So in this case, very easy. The next one, cylinder, star, ball, is what we need to remember. So, the one on the right has a gene that the one we created didn't have. That's star. So now we have a new part. And then, this one has a part that ours doesn't have, and that will once again create the potential of a new complex life form. So there is that new part. And trust me, trial and error is how you will do this game when you first play it. It is also very slow, so luckily we know what we're doing. Now we look at that. Life just got complex in this ocean. And now we want that saxophone. And this is the theme here. We're going to find a part or a clue or an item for our Big Bang. We're going to put it into our coat. No matter how big it is, everything fits in our coat. Come on. No, man. There you go. Check the time. What time is it? All right. And now check your hand symbol. And away we go. Back to the Big Bang. And there is the golden god, the golden man, Goldie, whatever you want to call him, because honestly, his name does not come up during the game, which means unless you read the lore, you're not going to remember who he is, except he is the man with a gun. So this is going to give us another swirl. Like I said, we need swirls. We also need to turn them gold. Also, this one actually comes in the story of the creation of everything before creation of life. This is an earlier moment in the Big Bang. This is essentially the start of the sun. And these little yellow pellets we keep picking up, don't even worry about them. They're not important at all. And we don't want to look at that because, like I said, looking at things slows you down, and we don't want to be slow. And now, we are going to be kind of taken back to one of our times of seeing Miss Mass at the Starstruck. That is the jazz club. Well, the club. I assume it's a jazz club, but who knows? It could just be a club in general. So what we need to do is knock on the door. They will let us on in. We want to click on that light. And we're just going to speed our way up using the controller. Jump over to mouse. we're going to have a little drink while we listen to her music go. Listen to her performance. And it's going to be a rule of threes. And now we will sit back and relax and enjoy. And then we will start running again. Don't bump into that thing. Pop into here. And this is the birth of the sun. Apparently the sun is from the golden man smoking a cigar. Which we're going to blow out the smoke, and then we're going to put out his cigar. And we'll just pop out of this cigar, collect it, and that is us finishing up with the birth of the sun. Bet you didn't know that is where the sun comes from. And we go back to the Big Bang. We add the cigar to our wall of clues. We get another swirl. This will start to become kind of the cycle, you know, the grind. But it is not what the entirety of the game is. It's once you feel like this is the entirety of the game, it's when you'll realize, oh no, it is not. And if you could read through all that, awesome. Once again, let's get time a-going. So we do that with the mouse, just swirl it away. And this is Hunt. So we are going to follow these tracks. This is the area I did mention at the beginning for possible trigger warnings. There is going to be a cartoonish moment of a deer being hit with a spear by a hunter. And there is no blood, but the deer does pass. So I just want to put that out there in case you don't want to see that. I don't blame you, you know. But there is a cute mouse. At least we have that. some of these don't move quite as well as you would like them to. This is all kind of tricky to... There we go. And now we will be in a different type of thing. Instead of this puzzle of finding the tracks, we're going to lose the tracks on the other side of a river. Part of the challenge of hunting, trying to make sure that we could keep up with our prey, our quarry. And we just want to find where these tracks went. Ooh, turned up just a touch too quickly. That's a tiny bit of time loss, but all is good, all is fine. We will head on in to this cave, where we are going to find, I mentioned before, there are 3 characters in this game, 3 main characters. We are now going to see the 4th one of those 3 main characters. The Huntress, or Hunter, whatever way you want to call her. I forget the name, might be Hunter? And she is going to draw the symbol of a deer. She is going to hunt a deer. And now we exit out of this cave. Ooh, come on. There we go. And we want to follow her. Unfortunately, whoa, don't know why my guy stopped moving. That is interesting. So, following her is a little tricky because there's a lot of tracks here. Do you still remember which ones are hers? Luckily, I do. I mean, that's fun of speedrunning. You know where to go. And so we are almost at that little moment of animal violence, the hunt. So if you are sensitive to that type of stuff, please do look away. But it will be over quite soon. I love, though, the fact that when you are in the hunt area, where everything's more, there's cave art paintings and things like that, your character is a little more simplistic. I mean, the visuals were simplistic to begin with, but your character is extra simplistic in this area. Looks like a cave painting. I love how they do that. This game does a lot of really cool things with very simple visuals that makes the visuals far more complex looking than they actually are. It's kind of genius in a way. You turn invisible. Oh, she sees you. And she runs. And once again, we're going to advance time. And there we go. This is what we wanted. The antler. Once again, check the time. Click our hand. And back to the Big Bang for us. And some new bubbles pop up. Every time you clear out a chapter, you have more places you could explore in the Big Bang, but you don't need to explore all of them. Some of them are optional chapters, and some of them are just little individual, info drops. So we're going to jump ahead 1 generation. Ooh, come on. So remember how I said that Hunter, she is one of the 4 main characters. Actually, there are 7 main characters or 8 main characters or 4 main characters, depending on how you want to see it. This game has a lot of style and a lot of uniqueness. So there is the hunter. We're about to see the musician, or I call him the bassist because he plays bass really good. He's more than a musician. He is a master of the bass. So we're going to see the musician. You might remember this puzzle from earlier from planting. We've got some sound waves that we need to clean up a bit. And then the main one is... Ooh, we are hearing the bass. No man is hearing this good bass line and really wants to hear it. This is easily the most jazz of stages. The visuals, the music, everything is very jazz here. A lot of things we could click on. We will click on some because there are some here that will not slow us down. So, for example, opening this window. Opening this window. Ooh. Oh, let's close this window. Alright, no more clicking on windows. If you click on that one, it'll actually take us in something that will stop us from moving. Not what we want to do. Alright, now we need to get on this train. Because we want to follow, you know, some cartoons, it'll have it where you have like a smell and your character's like... and just gets carried along on that beautiful smell of like a fresh baked pie or something like that. No, we are hearing the jazz. We are hearing the bass line. And we are going to just go along on it. And I am controlling this. It's part mouse, part controller. This is a lot of inputs. Well, not a lot of inputs, but some inputs. And for some reason, we have no neck. Sometimes you think of no neck as in your head like this. No, this is just, there is literally no neck. Our head is just floating on a swivel. We are trying to find where is this awesome bass line coming from. And I think we're just about to find it right there. They call him the musician. I usually call him the bassist. And we're going to play a little game of Simon. We're going to play some beautiful music together. Hey! 313124 312423. Final round of it. 312423. And you want to be careful not to go too quick on that when speedrunning it, because if you go too quick and you accidentally hit one that you didn't mean, you lose a lot of time. Like, you have to watch the scene of him playing it again, but also you just get very slow. So here, now it's your turn to be the first note in Simon. And so whatever you hit, you know, you can hit whatever you want. You just gotta make sure you hit enough notes. And the musician, he will take your cue and follow along. Look at that. You're making literally beautiful music together. Then you just gotta kind of make a little music together. This is part of the flashing light warning. This is a more gentle one, but lights can be a little intense on this. Like I said, this game has style. So once you pull the train out of the screen, that is what our main goal there was. Tragedy strikes. Bullet-riddled upright base. And we put that in our pocket. I mean, base. It's very pocket-sized, right? And back to the Big Bang we go. We are collecting clues. We are figuring things out. We are connecting dots. We are making dots vanish in the Big Bang, as well as other ones appear. All of them that appear tie into what we're seeing and what we're doing. In that case, all of them are tied in to the musician. Well, most of them. Almost all of them. We have one more persona we need to meet before we do anything else. And it's time to go to the thaw. So this is kind of the Ice Age portion of this story. So we're going to learn all about the seasons. And then we're going to see what happens when Ice Ages occur. And we're going to learn another character. So I mentioned there are 4 characters, but maybe 1 character beyond the 3 characters that I mentioned before. So all of these characters are part of Any Man. So we're No Man. There is Any Man. Any Man is going to be a little more obvious who that is as we go along, but keep in mind all these characters we are meeting. You should probably, if you're a giant celestial force, don't poke the earth. Be nice. And there we go. We have... I let go a fraction of a second too early. There we go. Now we have created spring. Spring means we are all wet. But you know what comes after spring? I think we all know this one. Summer. Which means we're going to be wet from sweat, but we're no longer dripping from the rain, just dripping in a different way. All right. And then up next comes the fall. So we're going to start getting a little cool about now, a little chilly. It's no longer hot summer days, very windy. Oh no, where I'm from, fall is actually really comfy. And this is the winter of our discontent. Well, hopefully you're not discontent with this game, but this is our winter, and it's time for a thaw. And it's time to see another important character. So we had the hunter, we had the musician, and in between them, we have the Ronin. So this here is the Ronin's cart. There's the Ronin. The Ronin wants a cup of tea, and we all know how to make a cup of tea. At least I hope we all do. You want a cup, which, good, got the cup. But we need some more things for that cup of tea. And you'll notice we could keep turning invisible. When we're around people, no man tends to turn invisible, except for certain people will see us, like the hunter, the musician. The Ronin will see us. And so, make this cup of tea, we need to find wood. Why do you need wood for a cup of tea? Because you need to boil some water, and you're not going to create a fire without some wood. And then we are going to need some water, most obviously. Cannot make a cup of tea without some water. And then, of course, what is the final ingredient for a cup of tea? Tea. You need tea leaves. So, we are going to find a knocked over merchant's cart. And luckily, I know exactly where it is and where the tea is. It's right there. There's some tea leaves. And now let's go back to the Ronin. Let's get that Ronin a cup of tea. This area can be really big and daunting in how big it is, or it could be kind of small depending on how you want to view it. This area is definitely bigger than it looks, and far smaller than it looks. Luckily, I know exactly where we're going, so it makes everything a whole lot easier. So we will just run over back to the tea house, where the Ronin was waiting. Let's give him what he wants. Wood, leaves, and water. Already had the tea cup from the people inside the little hut. And we will go inside too, where we will have a cup of tea. With a side of murder. Wait, what? Yeah, things happen here. The guy with the basket on his head is going to start up the hot water, get it boiling. There are a lot of things we could click on here. But unfortunately, despite being speedrunners, we need to be patient and just sit here and do a whole lot of nothing. Because, as it shows with that clock symbol, we are waiting for that water to boil. We can look at those, but that, I believe, just freezes time. We are here waiting. When is it done? Well, when it starts turning yellow. Remember, in this game, right now, there is black, white, and gold. Gold tends to be important. Black and white, they're important, but in a different way. And, ooh, I might have given spoilers right there. I said, for now, it's black and white and gold. You're like, wait, for now? Are you saying this game that's entirely black and white, but with gold for, like, accents and highlights, is going to have other colors? Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Definitely I am. There's going to be a lot of colors in this game. You just gotta wait for it. Just like we waited for that water to boil. For this delicious cup of tea. It'd be a shame if that teacup broke, by the way. I mean, that'd just be sad. Oh no. I said it'd be a shame, and unfortunately, it happened. I just turned invisible, and oh, the Ronin just got stabbed. Or the feudal lord? So I'm not sure whether... So one character is the Ronin. One is not. So I think that might... Like I said, I honestly do not get the whole story in this game. This game's story is all sorts of complex. But right here, we're going to add gold coins to the water and somehow make glue that we will use to re-adhere a bunch of broken things. And then comes some very simple puzzles. I kind of like these puzzles. They're very simple. They're not hard. But there's something satisfying about them. This is just the classic put together the broken thing puzzles. So like the very first one, very simple. And you need to be very intentional with your motions and your movements. Very intentional movements. And once it clicks together, do not stop or do not move off of where it clicked together. You'll notice... It unclicked from where I put it, because like I said, it is very strong and intentional. But do you know what we find at the bottom of this cup of tea? One of those swirlies. Those swirl symbols always mean something important. And all sorts of things are happening here. And we will take this, put it in our pocket, check the time, and check our hand swirl. And we are heading on back to the Big Bang. Once again, we are going to get a swirl from our latest clue. Somehow a teacup is a clue. I know where the swirl came from, at least. And now we're going to check out an area that it's kind of in between some of the things we already saw. So, part of the fun of this game is you don't have to do everything in a set order. A lot of the early stages have various orders you can do, and it's all fine. However you want to do it, just make sure you don't do the optional stages. And wink. And then I have that look of stupid winking. And we're just going to keep going to the right. The game wants us to stop. Don't stop. Just keep going. Just keep going. And then we will check out this arrowhead. So this is the other side of hunt. Remember hunt earlier? Well, there were hunters and there were gatherers. And that's where we're at here. So here we get to a more agrarian society, because like I said, this is all about the evolution of Earth and humanities and society and the cosmos, and this game has a lot of stuff going on, and I honestly do not know what all is going on, but we're having fun with it. That's all that matters. So here we need to find some stuff in this field. And once you find all of these, we go from hunt to gather. We'll continue to the right. And part of agrarian society is animal husbandry. See, you're learning all sorts of stuff with this game. This game's educational about the history of humanities and society and sociology and geology and the universe and biology, and I honestly don't know what's going on this ever. Now we run to the right. That falls down and breaks. We run to the right again. Let's go up the ziggurat. Okay, ziggurat or tower or whatever is gone. Alright, that's done. We're just seeing a lot of parts of society happening. These you can't click too quick, so try to not click them too quick. Because if you click those too quick, they just won't click. Like I said, everything on this game is super intentional. That falls down. We look at this. And something is going to be going on through the doorway to our right. Here's a hint. It is not that golden child, golden god, golden man, whatever the golden one is. It's a volcano. And this is bad news, but all that really matters, we just want this staff. Which is kind of the staff of knowledge. And as always, back we go. Back we go to the Big Bang. We got our clue. That'll lead to another swirly. It's going to create some new dots in the Big Bang itself. New dots, new places to explore, new things to do. And we are getting closer and closer. And if I remember this right, which I do, we're going now go to the future. We're going to meet another of those main characters who are part of the same character who are not part of the main characters, but they are. We're going to find Future Scientist. Technically, name is Scientist. I call her Future Scientist. And it's also where we're going to have our next set of puzzles. Okay. I do not care for winking Constellation Man. So I'm just going to throw a couple rocks at him. And then he's going to fling me down to Earth like I's a meteor. Oh! So this area is going to have some puzzles that I will once again be looking at my other monitor for the solutions, because those puzzles have a lot of parts to them. It's one of the last puzzles of the game where I really need to know what I'm doing. So here, we get a little clue of sorts, and now, ooh, that's probably not good. That looks like something is going to be striking the Earth. We're just going to keep running. Hey, it's Miss Mass. It's many Miss Mass. And me. And me throwing rocks. And rocks being thrown. Like I said, this game, it's got story. It's got style. It's got lore. It's got me confused on what's going on half the time. But it is a beauty to behold nonetheless. And we are near the end of days for the Earth, which means we're going to be seeing some cool, different things coming up soon. But first, the Earth shall be smashed. And the many, many iterations of us. All having a drink with Miss Mass while the world burns, quite literally, once again. Pop those bubbles, because if we have a drink, we pop those bubbles. And those can be a little tricky to control because we're moving the mouse, and the mouse is moving on the screen as if it's moving on the screen. But the challenge is the camera was moving as well, so it can be a little tricky. Once again, we see a symbol like this in the sky. It means we've got to get time a-flowing. Let's fast forward through all of this. Maybe we'll see a cool lunar rover buddy. Oh, look at him! That's a cool little lunar rover or Mars rover or whatever rover. And hey, we're going to wake up in darkness. Luckily, we've been to the hopper. And we have a book of matches. By the way, we are going to come to hate those matches because there are too many in that book of matches. You're probably like, what does that have to do with anything? Well, for right now, nothing. But later on, that match book will come back, and we're going to get through every one of those matches, and they take time to get through. So this is where we will finally meet Scientist. This here is Scientist. She sees us. We'll turn invisible. And nobody else will see us. Hey everyone, check out this invisible dude. Huh? Yep. Nothing to see here. Walk away. And now, we are going to try and create some sort of device. I don't know what this device honestly is for, but we are going to create it together, her and I. So in the top middle-ish area coming up, right here, see that thing with 5 areas and a blinking light? We need to get all of those filled in, the blinking lights. And so she is going to create inventions that will use different things we come across. Oh, she's like, wait, ooh, this stuff, I can use it. And we are going to essentially have an oscilloscope that we will use different devices to make the pattern we want. And some of these are a little finicky, so hopefully they behave, but sometimes they will not quite behave. So when they don't behave, we lose a little bit of time. So we hope the game behaves for us, but it doesn't always do as such. And now you'll see we have 1 dot filled in, 1 dot blinking, 3 empties. She's like, don't draw on the chalkboard. Wait a minute. And now, these 2 we always want the same. This one we want in the middle. Why are you not? Oh. So it was in the right spot, but not. So if you place it in the right spot and then get everything else in place for it, it won't necessarily be acknowledged until you move certain things off of the right spot and back onto the right spot. Because there is some tolerance for it, and the tolerance gets a little weird. Trust me when I say this is, for being just simple puzzles, they are trickier than they look because the game is very intentional. As I said, the controls in this game, super intentional. And here we're going to use that tea making that we learned earlier to make her a delicious tea. Don't use labware to make tea, especially if you work with anything hazardous. My job in real life is telling people be safe in a lab, so be safe in a lab. And then we need that turn there. And this one. Oh. And for some reason, you are Not liking the entry this time. Oh, like I said, this game, even though it's easy puzzles, it can be challenging because it could be asking you to do something that you have the answer, but it just doesn't like how you're putting the answer in. Even if the answer can only be put in one way, it's still going to want that answer exactly that way that it wants, regardless of what you do, and it's kind of frustrating. And hey, teaching scientist all about jazz music. Almost forgot that part. I always forget that part exists. So there's a lot of parts we're looking at, and it's going to become even more parts coming up real soon. Because we've now used the hunt, the jazz, the Ronin's tea, not necessarily in those orders. Now, we have one more. And we're going to see why fire should always be supervised by responsible people, because, dude, I'm on fire. Oh, those wacky science people. All right. And then we need... So that one, once again, it's all about, you have to put those in overly obviously, because it does not want to take them otherwise. And there we go. Now, we are done with discovering the formula for the golden swirl. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to be around the people. And hey, I'm like, wait, what's going? I see the formula for the swirl. We let break. And then we need to build it back better. And it doesn't matter what order you do it, just remember these things are very intentional, so be very careful moving them. If you click them incorrectly, they could go flying, and if they go flying when there's only one left to get, things go very weird. So now, once again, you can't click faster than it wants you to click. Trust me, you can't go it will not take it. And now we're gonna poke it. And it's been poked. And hey, we created a black hole. There we go. We have created a black hole. With that, we might now know how to do the golden swirls, make a black hole, stop the Big Bang, save Miss Mass. I think we just won. Let's go ahead and collect that book. That book would be our final guff again. We check our watch. And let's get out of here. Let's do this. We have won. This is it. We have beaten the game. And you're probably like, wait, isn't the estimate more than a half hour more than where we're at? Don't let that don't get hung up on that. Don't worry about that. The game's pretty much done. Wait, didn't Heppen want to say something about there's going to be more colors than black, white, and gold? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about colors. Don't worry about any of this. We're pretty much done. We discover black hole. There's no way our plan could be so short-sighted that it doesn't just win at this point, right? So they become gold. They go into our hand because we need a pocket full of black hole making things. And that's it. Let's do this. We are pretty much all done. We just now need to get to space, because you can't make a black hole while you're on Earth. You need to be in space for that. And let's go ahead and get people off of Earth so that they don't die when the black hole comes. So first, let's play with the time a little. We need to go 425. And these move very intentional also. And there we go. We're pretty much watching people leave the Earth because the Earth is about to be sucked up into a black hole. We might not be with them, but we are going to be with them. We are no man, so if they go space, trust me, it's where no man has gone before. So, fun bit of science knowledge, science history. There is something called the Voyager. The Voyager is a probe launched into deep space, and on this probe, they included a gold record. That gold record is meant to be played for societies out there, civilizations, something. What is... That's weird. Well, anyways, we'll just move on. We'll ignore the blue. But we took the gold record off of Voyager. We're going to ignore that blue because that is confusing. Instead, we are going to go back in here. Wait, did I want... I think I wanted... No, not that. There we go. I forgot. It's that one. They're saying I ignore what I was doing there. This is a long speed run, so every once in a while you stumble just a tiny bit, but a stumble is all good. And now we could finally use our little black hole generators. We're kind of torn on if we should use them or not. I mean, there's people out there. So many things to ponder and consider. No man is giving it a lot of thought. There's Earth. And we are seeing the singularity. We are creating the singularity. We are just making black holes at this point. So let's go ahead and find Earth and turn Earth into a black hole. We could turn other things into a black hole, but not nearly as important as finding Earth. And there we go. There's a lot to ponder, a lot to think about when you're going to turn Earth. Wait, dialogue spoken. So here comes the 8th or 4th character of the game. Any Man. Any Man is kind of the other side to No Man. And speaks. Introduces vocal, audio, dialogue to the game. And colors. And we're going to start having a lot more flashing colors and bright, shimmery colors. Things like that are going to start happening from here on out. So photosensitivity goes through the window here, as you can tell. And so, Any Man is actually made up of these previous incarnations.
Please stop, ancestral spirit.
Stop now, eternal demon.
Stop time. Beat, brother.
Stop worrying, time traveler.
And Any Man is now going to reform, offer us a cigar or a joint, depending on how you view that. Either way, No Man's like, I don't need any of this, because trust me, I am having an interesting day as it is without that.
You have a choice, no man.
And our choice we will make is not going to be the choice any man cares for. All of our loves throughout many different forms, times, sad at our decision-making, lack of skill, and throws us into the black hole. And now, we're in the next chapter. We are done going back to the Big Bang, by the way. We are not seeing the Big Bang room anymore, because we are through the looking glass, so to speak. And this right here is essentially an auto-scroller in a sense. It's a timer type of thing. So, we could walk along and see what this says. It's like solitude, but, or solitary, solitaire. It doesn't matter because it just doesn't matter. Let's light another match. And if you click right, you could not right click, but click correctly. You could get the match before you open the lid of the matchbook, which makes it quicker to light. Speedrun strats. Even in a game like this, you always look for them. But we need to wait for each match to die. To get the next match lit. When this one goes out, we will be in a whole different type of setup. So let's wait for this one go out. And then we're going to start. Remember how with the scientist we relived our past moments? Like we showed the scientist a good tea. We showed the scientist the deer painting. Different things like that. Well, and then also we had the music. Here, we are going to be reliving a bunch of past moments. First one, the watch. That kind of kicked off everything for the black hole. And then there we go. Now we are going to see rocks. Going to have a nap. And you're like, this is from past. And well, now we're going to see hunter-related items. And then it's going to come tea. And then it's going to come something related to jazz music and the musician. Like a bullet-riddled bass. And then we need something to remind us of the scientist. And then we only have one match left. At which point, you know what would be great? Let's just burn everything. You know, if we're down to one match, let's hear the ominous tone of last match. At this point, who cares? We're burning it all down. Let's burn it all. And let's open a door on fire. And everything's getting kind of disorderly, disorganized, chaotic. And we're at the point where colors are going to be a lot more. There's going to be more cacophony of life. We're going to have more just general chaos and really cool, weird things going on. The game is... We're at the point where this game really just gets very artistic. We are done with artistic explanations of natural phenomenon. Instead, we're just at artistic. Also, our arm kind of got burnt up. So we'll wait for this to fly around. And then we are going to go and we need to have a talk with any man. A lot has happened and we should have a talk. But first, let's find a statue that is inaccurate and make it accurate. You're like, huh? Oh, you'll see. I really like this really stupid little joke coming up here. I'll tell you what it says, because I'll click through it real quick, so you might not be able fully read it in time. Right here it says, an inaccurate statue. It loses an arm, it says, an accurate statue. I love that. It is silly and stupid in all the right ways. The game got glitchy there. That's not how that's supposed to go. So it's actually a weird camera angle versus how it should be. This is kind of cool because I have never seen it do this before, which is kind of fun. At first I thought the game was going to be hanging up or something, but it didn't, so that's all well and good.
You look at me.
And I can see.
The love we share.
Eternally.
And now, I hope you're ready for the big dance number, the musical dance number we have been waiting for. You're like, wait, the what now? You heard me. You heard me quite well. There's a musical dance number coming up. So let's do it. The control here is a little bit wild. And we want to make sure we get all of these. Oh, some of these are very, very tricky to control. This is so much harder to control than you would think. Ultimately, we just gotta do everything here, so the less travel you have to do, the better. And like I said, this is time for the musical dance number, so let's have a little song. Oh, let's... Real weird, simple puzzle. And a little dance, and a little music. We'll get a little quiet. Let's enjoy the music. And so, there is one of these for each of any man's personas that we have encountered. So up next is the Ronin. Here's where you finally get to see for certain what their names are, who these characters really are. You get another one of these. Like I said, it is all about very intentional. And of course, we have the musician next. Since we're going in order to do the least traveling, we're getting them in this order. You could do them any order you want. And we're going to play a game of Simon again. And then 2, 4, 3, 1. It's a simpler game of Simon. In case you thought any parts of this can be skipped, none of these can be skipped. You have to fill in everything here, so there is no final one. It's whatever you do last. Real simple one here. And that fills in the whole tapestry. And now we're going to have a dance number for a little bit longer. And look, no man was feeling the good vibes. So you can click on any man and see the 4 personas, which do not dance or move, or you can let go and you'll see any man dance around. And you'll also see no man pop in with some dance numbers. it's kind of more fun to not click. You know, you give better dance number. Honestly, all of these visuals here make me almost think of like old 1970s cartoons meets like mid 2000s Cartoon Network, so like Adventure Time, you know, things like that where it's simple animation but intentional animation. Like, I love the style of this game. It is so good. And so you're probably like, well, this is pretty much the end of the game, right? It's gotta be. No, there's actually still there's a good 15 minutes left. This game has a lot of stuff. It's not the most involved for gameplay-wise, although it is kind of fun to control. But especially visually, this game is complete feast for the eyes. So first, we're going to zip on through time some. Big Bang, start of life. Hey, there's those things that happen. Remember all of these, remember these, and all of this. And then black holes. Kind of learned our lesson in solitude. Things happening. Maybe we made mistakes. The one line that no man says. The only line of audio for no man. No. And now we have to see a bunch of different faces. We need to see 12 different heads. So we're going to zoom in through some stuff real quick. We're going to see 3 heads of the hunter. We're going to zoom in. Going to zoom in again. We're going to do this with each of the 4 Anyman characters. So the hunting ways led to death. The agrarian ways was a revolution which spurred about life. And then something. And then back we go. And then up next, and you could do these like anything else in this game. You can do whatever order you want. I wish we got more clarification, really, on what was going on with the Ronin story, because the Ronin story feels like it's the least self-explanatory. Like, there's some sort of revenge plot or assassination plot, something like that. But it feels so not fleshed out. Well, none of them feel fleshed out, but The hunter stuff makes more sense. You know, it's very simple. Hunter going to a gatherer agrarian society. The hunting side died out. Ronin, I'm not sure what the revenge is about, what the murder, assassination, like what's going on, where the broken artifacts came from. Who was the spear warrior? The musician makes a lot more sense, because the musician, it feels like, well, musician kind of had crime, you know, either ties with crime families or crime families just came for the musician. I don't know. Like I said, this game, it's got a lot of narrative, and I cannot easily say what it's about, but I can say it's really cool nonetheless. Once again, we have the 3 heads. I love the really stark, bold colors. Like, I love how they do that in this game. It's so just black and white and gold for the whole game, and all of a sudden it's like, no, you know what? That was for the first, 75% of the game. Now we're going to just give you the colors. We're going to give you all those colors you did not have earlier. Go through the rifling of the barrel of the gun. It's a music gun. Hey, that's a pretty cool gun. The gun plays jazz. And we are controlling certain elements of this. Not a lot of it, but we are controlling the zooming in. And once we get to the end where music knocked the musician out, we are clicking get out of it. And then we've got one more to go, the scientist. Like I said, photosensitivity warning, because this game does have a lot of flashing lights, a lot of shimmery effects, a lot of visual things. It's a really cool game, behold, but it definitely does have things going on that can be uncomfortable visually, which is the only real downside of showing off this game at a speedrun event, because otherwise, this game's pretty awesome to behold. Like, it has more style than most games can ever even dream of having. I mean, it is as much an art exhibit as much as it is a game. It's an art exhibit, it's a jam session on, for a impromptu band. It is a TED Talk on the nature of the universe and all that is and all that will be. It's a it is a testament of what art can be. Yeah, and they have that look that just says, huh? We're just going to zoom out. And we're going to zoom back in. A lot of things happened, all based around that watch, it appears. I really do love these visuals, though, because there is so much going on in so many stylish ways, so many things. Every time I see this, honestly, there are some small details I do not see previously. Here comes the ultimate piece of advice from any man to no man.
You don't have to save anyone.
And now let's click on that symbol and head into the final chapter. So we're heading into the final chapter. It's going to have a bit more of the text at the start. There's going to be actually quite a bit of it because there's going to be the text for the chapter itself, followed by each character of any man gets some text. The hunter gets some. The Ronin is going to get some. The musician's going to get some. The scientist is going to get some. And any man is going to get some. Any man's color scheme, I love and hate. It is beautiful and horrible at the same time. Here it comes. Saying about it is wonderful and horrible. So this is the last chapter. Time will be coming up in about 5-ish minutes. Of course, I will try and call out time as well as I can. It's one of those things where it's pretty easy, say when it's coming. It's a little harder to count it down exactly, but it's pretty easy, say when it's coming. We're also going to play as a different character. We wait until the very end of the game to be able to play as someone else for a brief moment. We are going to play as any man. Also, there is some things you could do to pad out the length of the ending here. We are not doing that, because that is not what you want to do in a speedrun. So, we will skip clicking on a gun. There is going to be a big gun, the big gun from the Big Bang. If we click on it, we will be able to give that gun to No Man. If we do that, it will add a line or two of dialogue and an animation of handing the gun over. We don't want any of that. So this gun coming up, we do not click on it. Final chapter is Exodus. Time will be coming up after some of the credits roll. This is kind of like a Marvel movie or a lot of modern movies where we're going to have some credits roll and then we'll have a mid-credit stinger and then the game will wrap up after the stinger. So here, we are also going to have a choice between two endings. If you're playing casually, you probably want the achievement for both endings, and you probably want to see both of them. Great thing is, when you're done, you could do chapter select, and from chapter select, just go ahead and select Exodus, and it'll start from that big text stuff we saw earlier, and just gotta click through, and you will be good to go. So the ending, we get choose left or right. Essentially, are we going to offer our love to Miss Mass, or are we going to walk away from her? I'm not sure exactly what that means in terms of the story. Like I said, this story, there's a lot of story, but it's hard to make sense. I found doing the right-hand one, walking away, tends to be slightly quicker, I believe, for the ending. And there we go. We are committed to this ending. And honestly, I think walking away is the better option, considering how much all of this has caused heartache and problems for so many people. However, it also makes the ending a little sadder, because we are going to end up just completely alone at the end. Alternatively, if we did the other ending, we don't necessarily end up alone. But I'm not going to tell you what all happens, because it doesn't make sense to me all the way. But also, more than that, one other thing of importance. You should play this game. Give it a shot. Don't play it as a speedrun. Play it casually. Have some fun. Explore. Take in the story. Take in the text, the dialogue. Take in all of these things to click on and to check out and have fun with. But we're going to head back towards the hopper. We're going to have some text coming up, one of those text blocks on the screen like we've had before, and when those go blank, it is time. So time is coming up really soon. So it's like, it is too late for any last minute donations or announcements or anything like that if there is a host for the speedrun event that this is at. Instead, time is just coming up. Fellow Traveler publishes a lot of really cool narrative games, by the way, including 1000X Resist, a recent one. So, real cool developer. Alright, final text scroll coming up, and once it fades out, it will be time. So time is coming up in about, let's go with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Time! And the coffee is out. I've finished up my coffee. We end up at the hopper, all alone. But we are still no man. For better or worse. Cop cars go flying by. No man's like, I'm going to get to work. I don't know, is No Man a detective or a watch seller or a PI or what is going on? Who knows? But this is a fantastic game. I'm going to let these credits roll out as we wrap up this, but time has happened, so this is a point where I'd be like, yeah, and you could go away and, go ahead and cut away from this game, but we have a little bit of cool visuals to wrap it up in case you are inclined to show that. I like these visuals, the music, some good jazz right there. And you could speed up the scroll because this was a Kickstarter game, but thank you for letting me show you Genesis Noir, any percent. Not enough people run this game. It is really cool. It is full of a lot of style. It is full of just beautiful visuals, beautiful sounds, beautiful experience. I don't know what the story really was. I don't think anyone does, but you leave it feeling something. So thank you for letting me show you this experience of a game, this speedrun, this artistic expression. Thank you for letting me show it. Once again, I am Heppenwana. This is Genesis Noir. Any percent. Much love. I hope you consider it for your event, because it is just something beheld by the audience, and you never get bored because you never know what is coming next. Much love. Thank you for just watching this little submission video.